Ho, ho, ho! The Bureau Boys is an improvised detective serial. Every Monday, the Bureau Boys solve crimes based on clues sent in by their elf informants.
That's you! Go to thebureauboys.com to submit your clues, elf informant.
Thank you to elf informant April for this week's clue. Sell.
When we last left the Bureau Boys, they had discovered a boiling cauldron not too far down a little valley from what looks to be a ranch in the distance.
What?
You know, there was a cauldron. Not too far from the cauldron was what appeared to be a ranch.
Oh.
But the boys stopped at the cauldron and
Found a recipe, yes. There was also sort of homework from some sort of person that was written on stationery that was from the Hill Valley Orphanage.
That's right. And after inspecting the contents of the cauldron, they decided to visit the Hill Valley Orphanage, the most famous and or infamous orphanage in the tri-state area.
You know who else visits the Hill Valley Orphanage at least once a year? Santa.
That's right. In fact, this is a well-known recruiting ground for Santa's little helpers.
Kind of like a QAnon recruiting ground? Like Reddit?
Yes, because all of these children have been broken down. They don't have much going for them, and they are very willing to do anything for a scrap of bread.
You know what's funny? That the girl or boy who wrote the homework to find Grandma's recipe wrote it on orphanage stationery. Also, why does an orphanage need stationery?
Well, I suppose to keep the children busy. Let it also be known and recorded on the record that the stationery is not made of trees or sugar cane or hemp, but in fact made of skin.
Well, if the kids don't have anything going for them or anything to do, they could just have them make coin purses and sell them on Etsy. Was that worth it? I don't know if that was worth it.
Well, when we edit this episode, narrator, we'll decide if we should take that part out or not.
Good point. So the Bureau Boys pull up to the Hill Valley Orphanage in their sleigh with 8 tiny horses.
And before them is a great wrought iron fence with a big sign that says Hill Valley Orphanage, beware.
Beware! Orphans' bark is not worse than their bite.
You would think it would have just been easier to write Orphans Bite, beware.
Or just a simple beware of orphans, which is, frankly, a lesson that we all should learn.
Thankfully, they did put a little illustration of an arm and leg being gnawed on by a tiny child. So you get a visual for what could happen to you if you don't heed the warning.
Detective Riley, first of all, this is one of the most gnarly wrought iron gates I've ever seen in my life. This is like straight out of Gotham. You know what, Detective Riley? I don't have time to explain. No,
where he flies through the air.
Detective Riley, I don't have time to explain every single reference I make to you.
I agree. This is pretty wrecked. It looks like these wrought iron gates have had to been repaired over and over, like repeatedly ironed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dents, lot of chips, looks like patched up, broken bars that had to be sealed. I'm not a metal worker, but
Clearly. Neither am I, Detective Riley. We're not metal workers. That's not what we get paid for. Also, Detective Riley, I haven't gotten a paycheck in 2 months. How about you?
no, I've actually been waiting on my Christmas bonus, which I also haven't received.
Yeah.
But I am going to have some words for management if we could ever figure out who our
Who
managers
management
are.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
where they
yeah.
live, or possibly who we report to in any sort of way. You know what, Detective Riley?
That's a mystery for another day.
Exactly. When I get my 1040, presumably sometime this month, I will probably try and find an address. It's probably going to be a P.O. box. But Detective Riley, I think we need to get over this gate.
You're right. When we're done here, we'll grab a sixer and we'll go on the hunt. We'll have a gay old time.
I agree. We'll grab a sixer, which is like 2 packs of the 3 bars of soap that I got you.
Which, by the way, I haven't had a chance to hang up yet because we just dashed out of the office, but I'm very excited to hang them up. I've been thinking about some other decorations because I also have some shampoo bottles
Good.
that I got years ago from you, and I have some foot scrubbers, the pumice rocks that I've never used. I still keep them in the plastic because I think, fingers crossed, they're going to be worth a lot of money someday. So I'm keeping them in their original packaging.
And I did sign them. I signed the packaging, so. Detective Riley, you know what I'm thinking? You still have your popcorn mace, right?
Right here, baby.
You've got your popcorn mace. I still have my candy cane nunchucks. I'm noticing how long the garland that I have in my candy cane nunchucks is and how long your popcorn string is in your popcorn mace.
Yeah.
I think that both of them could reach over the top of this gate.
Yeah, I feel like we should just scale this wall and not use the buzzer at the front of this gate to let them know that we're here. So, Detective Potter and Detective Riley throw their respective weapons onto the top of the gate and hoist themselves up and over the wrought iron gate, dropping down on the other side, leaving their steeds and sleigh behind.
Also, leaving their popcorn mace and their candy cane nunchucks behind, for they got intertwined in the wrought iron, which had been repaired and resealed so many times. It had so many knobs and nooks and crannies that the Bureau boys lost their only weapons. Detective Riley, we lost our only weapons.
Jesus. Well, I can't climb this fence. I'm not tall enough. And you're not either. Don't even think about it.
Okay, I'm not. We don't have to. We're on the other side of it now, Detective Riley.
I know, but I really wanted to bring that mace in.
Okay. It's fine. You know what? Mission accomplished. We got on the other side of the gate. We're in.
Okay, now let's keep our wits about us because this is a pretty barren land. You would expect like some trees or like a play set, a jungle gym, something out here for the kids to do.
Sand pit.
There does seem to be a sand pit.
The Bureau boys look over to the left of the orphanage and see a large sand pit. But what's strange about this sand pit is the sand isn't the usual beige that you see in a normal sand pit. It's red and green.
Detective Potter, before we go up to the front door, we like to inspect the grounds.
I love to.
I want to take a quick jaunt over to that sand pit. Now let's be careful not to put our feet in the sand.
Okay.
Let's just get a closer look before going in, just to get a feel for this place.
So the Bureau boys walk over to the sand pit, and Detective Potter and Riley immediately take off their shoes and socks. Well, let's say Detective Potter does, because Detective Riley never wears shoes and socks.
All right, this is just too much fun. Come on, let's get in.
The Bureau boys dance and prance around the sand, kicking up red and green in the spirit of the season.
Detective Potter, the sand, it clumps so easily. It's not like any kind of sand, that just runs through your fingers. It's like there's something else like wet in here, and so it's clumping so easily.
Do you think it's cat urine?
Well, it kind of smells more like a cinnamon.
Detective Riley, you're exactly right. It does smell like cinnamon. Detective Potter takes a little bit of the red sand and tastes it. It is cinnamon, Detective Riley.
Cinnamon. And a hint of, it's like a good hot beverage on a cold, wintry day.
Detective Riley, don't play coy with me. I know you drink oolong tea every morning because I come in 10 o'clock every day, which is when the workday starts, and I know that you're sitting back with your dirty feet up on your desk sipping oolong tea.
That's the way any good man should start his day. Oolong tea, made by the Oolong Company.
Detective Riley, do you think we should start our day before 10:30?
Not if management has anything to say about it, and they don't.
Have they said anything? I don't know.
No, I haven't heard anything, so
okay.
I feel like I think we're fine.
Detective Riley, you're exactly right, though. This is not sand, I don't think, at all. This is cinnamon and oolong tea leaves.
Right. I better put some of this in my pocket then, yeah. Good point, Detective Potter. I'll bring this home. We can brew it later.
Detective Riley puts it into his pocket, but as everyone knows, Detective Riley doesn't mend his pockets, so all of the oolong tea and cinnamon runs right back out into the sand pit.
Hey, Detective Potter, you wouldn't happen to have some more of that pixie dust, would you?
I do.
Okay, can you just apply a little to my pockets? Just real fast. I'll let it dry.
Detective Potter takes some of his pixie dust, mixes it back with his super glue that he had, and mends Detective Riley's pocket.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, fun time is over.
Agreed.
And it doesn't look like there's much else out here.
Detective Riley, as he says this, notices something over Detective Potter's shoulder. It's a sort of blinking light up on the second floor of the orphanage. There's a silhouette in the window.
Detective Potter,
What?
you know...
What?
Morse, Detective Potter, look up there at the second window.
Detective Potter cranes his neck behind him.
God, why do you have to look so... you do all these exaggerated movements every time I tell you to look.
Shh, I'm still turning my head.
You know Morse code.
What?
I think you know Morse code, and I'm pretty sure that there's someone flashing lights at us.
You're right.
Up there in the window.
Okay, Detective Riley. If I say these things out loud, will you remember them in your photographic audio memory?
It's audiographic, and yes, I will.
Okay. Dash, dash, dot, dash, dash, dash. So, Detective Potter says a bunch of dashes and dots. You got it, Detective Riley?
I don't know what it means.
No, but do you have it? Do you have it? Okay.
I got it.
I need you to write it down on this piece of paper. Detective Potter hands Detective Riley a piece of paper where he jots down all of the things that he remembers from Detective Potter saying it. Detective Riley, this is a message. Whoever is in that room is blinking the lights and saying, "Hey, sup, Bureau boys?"
What? How do you think? What? They know us?
Yes.
Wait, first of all, who calls us the Bureau Boys? That's a ridiculous name.
I don't know. That's very insulting. Okay, there's more. Need to get out, totes. Okay, and this, I don't know how they translated this to Morse, but there's a grapefruit emoji. And then they say, meet me on the second floor at 10:25 sharp. Detective Riley, what time is it?
It's 10:22.
We gotta get upstairs. So the Bureau boys break down the door of the orphanage. For no reason, it was unlocked. I mean, for God's sake.
Right away, they encounter a couple of orderlies rushing at them. Of course, because there are no visitors allowed, this is way past visitor hours. Hey, get out of here. What the hell? Who are you guys?
You guys gotta get out of here.
This is no place for visitors. Visiting hours have been over for 19 years.
That's right. When they had the last orphans that came up into here and they had to get rid of them, that was 19 years ago. And then they were like, hey, no more visitors up in here.
Yeah, because Mrs. Santa Claus said no one can find out what's going on, in the orphanage. So you're not allowed.
Do you ever feel like Mrs. Santa Claus shouldn't have taken his name? Because she was doing pretty good on her own, honestly. She's the one who founded this orphanage.
Yeah, I absolutely. She built this thing from the ground up. She's got a string of orphanages. She's a very prolific entrepreneur, but, she was enamored with big old Santa's big old beard and big old fat belly. I don't get it. I don't see it.
A big old dick.
Yeah, it must be that big dick. Must be that big. He probably got a big dick.
He's got that BDSE, that big dick Santa energy. You're right about that franchise. She started the Hill Valley Orphanage, and then she started the Hill Plateau Orphanage 2 towns over. 28 minutes away.
While the two orderlies stopped to chat about Santa's giant cock, the Bureau boys slip right past them.
Hey, where'd those guys go? Meanwhile, the Bureau boys creep up the stairs to the 2nd floor. They find a door marked 13. Detective Riley, I just want to say, if there is a tasteful cabinet behind this door, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, we got enough problems with the one we got at home. Am I right?
Agreed. Please wash your face.
Now, I'm not going to lie. This doesn't look like a normal room for an orphan. It looks more like what you'd keep a prisoner in.
Yeah, exactly. Or like mitochondria. You're talking about a cell, right, Detective Riley?
On the nose, Detective Potter. On the nose.
Yes, I totally agree. There's bars in the window, and there's a little slot under the door where you can slide in like a meal tray. It's not even that little. It's tall enough to fit like a juice glass underneath it.
Look, the slot's open.
There's a hand.
Let's peek inside. Wait, you're right. Oh, I can't peek inside with the hand.
No, don't poke your eyes out on that hand.
That hand is hello. So the Bureau boys start beating on the door, calling inside.
Making quite a ruckus, considering there's 2 orderlies downstairs. But those orderlies are still engrossed in the stock market.
Just then, as they're making all this noise, the slots on the other doors open as well, and more hands come out of them.
Please, sir. Please give us something to eat or drink or read or do a crossword on, or maybe like a Samsung tablet.
Please, Sudoku, Minesweeper.
I'd take a good crossword puzzle at this point. Jesus Christ, I've been here for 3 years.
I want an Xbox One.
That's an old one. Why don't you want a Series X or a PS5?
I prefer the generation behind the current one. Help me.
That's like 2 generations behind, though, because there was the Xbox One X. You know what? I don't have time to explain to you.
Detective Potter.
Yeah, what?
These kids need I don't even know what they are, but they need help. At this hand.
You don't know what they are? What does that mean?
Well, they don't sound like normal children.
No.
I don't know what kind of children you've been around, but I've been around plenty.
We have to talk about that. We legit have to talk about that. So Detective Potter walks to one of the slits in the doors and peeks inside. Detective Riley, you're right. This child, this orphan, has elvish ears.
Pointy and clean, very soft looking.
Detective Riley, I know that sounded super sexual. Can you say it in a non-sexual way?
I observe skin. I notice skin.
I know, and that's not good for anyone, and definitely not for this restraining order.
It's not about, oh my God, everyone just takes it out of context, okay?
Yes, of course we do.
Now, we gotta get in there and get this thing out.
Hey, I'm not a thing. I'm just a little boy.
You're the one that was shining the light on us down there.
That's right. Did you get my message?
Well, you told us to meet you at 10:25 sharp.
Yeah, it's 10:26. So fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I have no plans tonight.
Okay, we're gonna get you out of there, little guy. So the Bureau boys, realizing that they don't have any tools to break down the door, resort to a last-ditch effort. Detective Riley remembers something Detective Potter was given at the very beginning of this case. Detective Potter, do you still have those riot shells that I gave you for Christmas?
Yes, I don't know why I even bothered. You don't have a gift receipt, do you?
Detective Potter, now is not the time to be a regifter.
No, I'm not. Well, that wouldn't be re-gifting. It would be returning it and getting the cash. You know what? Next year, just give me cash. I'll just buy whatever I want. Like, honestly.
Cash is so impersonal. You know, it just takes away the spirit of Christmas.
Yes, but I sold my riot gun to buy your gift. It's, you know what? I would have been happier with cash.
Well, you know what? That riot gun must have been crap since you only bought me 3 bars of soap. Thanks a lot. I have like 9 mantles. I have a lot of places to put soap.
Well, I sold it on offer up. I got underbid.
All right, well, now I'm upset. Christmas is ruined.
We're all upset. What about the riot? Here, yes, I have the riot shells. So Detective Potter pulls out the riot shells and hands them to Detective Riley.
And now I want you to sprinkle a little bit of that pixie dust on this riot shell.
So Detective Potter takes out his magic pouch, arguably of pixie dust, and sprinkles it onto the riot shells. Okay, I think I know where you're going with this, Detective Riley.
We're gonna
slide these shells underneath the door.
Yep.
With this glitter on them.
Yep.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Well, there's only one type of creature that I know that can use pixie dust.
A pixie?
Pixies? So I guess there's actually a second creature I'm hoping to God Almighty that they can use it.
You talking about reindeer?
I'm talking about elves.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to say, why wouldn't you just use my reindeer nip instead of the glitter? Okay, yeah. No, good idea. So Detective Potter takes out his veterinarian book again and flips to the section on elves. Detective Riley, you're right. Elves are attracted to 2 things: shininess and the smell of gunpowder. Because, as you know, they all fought in Vietnam.
So Detective Potter rolls the shells underneath the cell door. Okay, little guy, take those shells and use them to blow a hole in this door and get yourself out of there.
First of all, who in the hell are you guys?
Well, I'm Detective Riley. This is Detective Potter. We're from the Bureau.
Right, I got everything. So the little orphan picks up all the shells and amasses them underneath the door. And he has a little bit of a flint that he found in the yard one day, and he strikes it against the shells, and it blows open the door. Okay, thanks, guys.
You're being very flippant about the situation, little guy. We are breaking you out. You are obviously locked in here. You're a prisoner.
I kind of feel like I broke myself out, though.
Well, yes, with our help.
Well, okay, yeah.
Detective Potter, this is why I rarely respect the people we interact with on these cases.
I rarely respect anyone I start at a very low level of respect, and you have to earn your way up to being respected by me, Detective Riley, but I totally agree with you.
And he's falling down the chutes and ladders right now of respect. Way down. All right, you little elf. We got to get you out of here.
All right, yeah. I want to get out of here. That's why I sent the message. I've been transmitting this message for the last 4 years that I've been stuck in this, I don't know, cell.
Okay, well, let's get out of here. Do you know a secret passageway?
What a weird coincidence. I do. You see that hatch on the wall? Yeah, the one that looks like it leads to the laundry chute? Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Here, Bureau boys. I'm sorry to call you that, but
how do you know us?
Everyone's been calling you that. We still get papers.
Oh, right. We made the paper last time we
crucified that gym teacher.
I was going to say when we killed that witch, but no one knows we actually killed her.
No, she kind of killed herself. I agree.
She kind of killed herself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I read both headlines. Okay, so that laundry chute over there. The orphan gestures to a laundry chute just down the hall. That laundry chute over there, it goes out into the basement. The basement where you'll find something that might help you along the way.
You don't seem too happy about that basement. Must be something pretty bad down there.
That basement is... Let's just say it's a scary place for the orphans. It's a place that you don't want to end up in. You ever see Cool Hand Luke? Detective Riley, I'll explain it to you later
That's
on.
the one.
No,
where
Detective Riley,
he's got to get a bunch of gold from a mine.
No, Detective, okay. No. Yes, I have seen Cool Hand Luke. I'll explain it to him later. Yeah, well, you know how in Cool Hand Luke they used to put him in the box? Yeah, yes, I do. And I'll explain to him later on. Well, you don't want to go into the basement because kids that go into the basement, sometimes you don't ever see them again.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. Why are we going into the basement? This sounds like a trap.
Because I think you'll know when you see it.
So as the boys opened the hatch, a strong whiff of compost tea and...
Part tea?
Tea party. Yes. Emanates from deep below.
The Bureau Boys gaze down from the top of the hatch to the bottom of the hatch. Kind of like the beginning of Season 2 of Lost or the end of Season 1 of Lost. I'll explain it to you later, narrator. When they're looking down into the hatch.
Hey, you guys get back here! Hey, we're not down here, you're not supposed to be here!
As the orderlies run up the stairs, one of the stairs opens up and swallows them whole.
Just let's get out of here!
What will the Bureau Boys find at the bottom of the hatch?
Can this little elf be trusted?
What secret things are happening in this orphanage?
And what does Mr. and Mrs. Claus have to do with it?
And why would you throw away your vote on the tea party? Find out next time on the next chapter of The Bureau Boys. If you enjoyed this episode, go to thebureauboys.com to subscribe, rate, and review The Bureau Boys.
And tell all your friends about the Bureau Boys too. But don't tell the criminals, because the Bureau Boys are coming for them.